a little bit more. All right. So on this screen, you can see my screen with 4 squares.
Yes.
Okay. So on the top, you'll see Aegon. That's our parent company. They're based in the Netherlands and they have assets in the billions of dollars. So they've been in business over 100 years. They do have that financial strength. So Aegon purchased Transamerica because Aegon wanted to have a U.S. representation. Instead of, reinventing the wheel, they just went ahead and purchased Transamerica. And that way, because Transamerica already has a footprint in the United States. So they purchased Transamerica. So that means that they really got big money. And Transamerica is our sister company. They're based in San Francisco, right in the heart of the financial district. I tell people they are where the money resides. So that's our sister company. Then we have World Financial Group. So that's us. That's the broker that we work for. They're based in Atlanta, Georgia. You said you came from Georgia. We serve as like the back office and the marketing for Aegon and Transamerica. And we actually, when we're working for World Financial Group, we're independent contractors. So we're independent, we're non-captive. So that's the beautiful thing about this. And then Pinnacle Elite, that is the team name that we're on. And Pinnacle Elite is the top team within World Financial Group. So we're on a good team. So we all work together to give our clients and our agents the strength, credibility, and stability based off of the services that we provide. All right. So on this screen here to the right, you'll see a bunch of logos. Can you tell me if any of them look familiar to you?
Yeah, I've heard of, you said to the right?
To the Pacific Life, Allianz.
Yeah, I've heard of Transamerica and Prudential and Nationwide.
Yeah, Nationwide's on your side.
Yeah, and Pacific Life. I'm trying to see, and I think Everest.
That's good. So Everest is one of our final expense carriers that we use. But the thing about us is that we're non-captive, like I said before. So that means we don't work for any of these individual companies, but we can work with all of these companies. Really, as a matter of fact, it's over 70 A-rated companies. We only deal with A-rated to be able to give our clients the best product for them. So it's not a one-size-fits-all, and we don't try to make it a one-size-fits-all. So we can go to the market for our clients to make sure that we're getting them the best product for whatever it is to help them meet their goals, not mine. So that's what I love about this. Then on the other side of the screen, you'll see the power of choice. So this is a list of the services that we provide. So we are like a one-stop shop. So we do the 401k and IRA rollovers. Let me ask you, I know you have a 401k with your job right now. Do you have any old 401ks that you've had at previous employers that you perhaps don't even know where they're at or, rolled them over or anything?
Yeah, I had one at KPMG. That was Merrill Lynch, I think. And I had another one that was with, I want to say it's Bank of America, but it wasn't banking. It was another company that administrated the policy for Bank of America.
Okay. So you do have...
Yeah, I rolled those over to another, I think I rolled them to Fidelity. Okay.
So you rolled them over and it's with the money that you currently place. You need me, Kalicia, you got something to say?
Hey, this is Robert. I just kind of slid on here just to check you guys out. Your screen isn't full, so we can't see the second slide.
Yeah, I was zooming in when you asked me earlier. I was trying to zoom in over there.
Because it's full on my end. All right, is that full?
Nope, we're still getting the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's the slideshow, and then it'll go over to the actual full screen because it looks like we're still in the preview screen.
All right, let's try this. Do you see it full now?
Not yet.
It's not the full screen, but we see the third slide now.
You do see the power of choice right here?
There you go. Now we can see it.
Is it full?
No.
No. Well, I'm on an iPad, so I don't know if it's going to actually go full screen.
Because it shows it's full on my end.
Did she click that up there? It looks like it's clicked. It looks like it's selected.
That's so odd.
But we can see what's the slide.
Yeah, maybe each time you change slides, you just click on it within your presentation. Because from where we're looking at it, it's just the like we can see all the slides, the future slides, and the one that you already passed too. It's almost like in the edit format.
Because I start the slideshow and you don't see this?
Yeah, but like I said, we're still like how you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides on the left with the scroll bar. So we see the main one, but we also see the ones on the side too.
That is very interesting because let me make sure. Let's see.
This one needs to be clicked.
No, you can see when she clicks it, it's selected.
Yeah. She selected it, just not going to full screen thing yet.
You went to mute.
There we go.
There it is.
There. So this is the full screen?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. So back to what we're saying. You did roll your IRAs over?
Yes.
I mean your 401ks over?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we were talking about your 401k, so you did roll those over. But at least we'll talk about that here in a second. Life insurance, that's something else that we offer. Do you currently have life insurance outside of your employer?
Yeah, I got a life insurance policy. I think it's with Fidelity. You got to go back and check.
That's fine. I'll just write that down. But we do long-term care, college plans. We'll talk about that because I know you said that you have the 2 children that you do want to put something in place. We do index universal life, executive bonus plans, wills, and living trust, and even more than that. Do you currently have a will or a living trust in place?
You got a will in place.
Okay. All right. So we can, because there's another step to making sure that everything is your family's not going to have any issues when that time does come. So making sure that there's also a trust to ensure that the will is set forth. So we have resources for that as well.
Okay.
All right. So like I told you, we really go to the market for our clients. And our whole mission and the goal of us is that no family be left behind. And I really feel like there's a lot of families left behind because there's a lack of information out there. And there's a lack of people willing to share the information. So we have Family A here. Family A represents 95% of middle America, usually making $100,000 or less, have a job, term insurance, renting a home, credit card debt. And these people usually have never met with an advisor or have a plan in place. So for us, we're helping them to put their financial portfolio on the right path to help them get to the destination that they're trying to get to. So have you ever been to Red Oak, Texas?
I've heard about it. Yeah, I haven't been there. I think we passed it going to Austin.
You do pass it going to Waco and Austin. So if you've never been to Red Oak, that's where I live. That's why I said that. If you've never been to Red Oak, would you just hop in the car and drive and wing it, or would you put it in a GPS?
Definitely put in a GPS.
Yes. So that's what we do. Destinations we've never been, we put it in a GPS. So that's why we're trying to get Family A to put their financial portfolio in a GPS. That way they're going to know what it looks like and what time it's going to be when they get there. So that's what brings us to Family B. Family B, this represents 5% of wealthy America. So a very small percent of the population. They usually make $250,000 or more, have indexed accounts, homeowners, debt-free, and they have these maximized tax advantages. And these people usually have met with a financial professional. So we just say that most people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. So very rarely have I met anyone that has all of the properties of Family B. So that's why we really help them to level up pretty much. All right. So we like to take the educational approach, like I said. So we like to teach people about the rules to money. These are rules that should have been taught to us in school, but they didn't. So the first rule is the rule of 72. So the rule of 72 was created by Albert Einstein. He tells you the formula to use to determine how long it's going to take for your money to double just based off of the interest rate that you're given. So the first example we have here is 1%. So if you take 72 divided by the percent, which is 1%, that means your money's going to take 72 years to just double. All right. And if we want to take it a step further, banks. Do you know how much interest your bank offers on your savings account or checking accounts right now?
It's low.
It's low. Yes, it's a fraction of a percent. So I have military banking, and I said, let me just see what they're offering. They're offering 0.01% interest on my money when I have it in there. So if we take 72 divided by 0.01, because that's the percent, this means my money's going to take 7,200 years to just double.
Oh, wow.
You got time for that?
Definitely not.
Exactly. So that's why we show people, if you go all the way to the right, you'll see 12%. So if you have 12% interest, you take 72 divided by 12%. Now your money's going to be doubling every 6 years. So as you can see, your money is going to grow and be a lot better in your lifetime. Okay, you actually have a chance to have that accumulation. Then the second rule to money is how money grows. So first way is fixed. This is what we all see when we have our money sitting in a bank account or bank CDs. You're getting a very low interest rate on this money, and it's pretty much looking like a flat line, right? You really see very little growth. Now, people love this because they have easy access to the money, but people don't realize that you're sacrificing growth of your money just to have it be in liquid. So depending on where your destination is that going to work for you or not? Most of the time, it's not. So then variable. Variable is what we're most familiar with. Our stock markets, the Bitcoins, crypto, all of this. There's unlimited growth potential of these accounts. That's a positive. But there's also unlimited loss potential. And that's usually when people get quiet, when the markets are down and when things go down, people are quiet. But when it's high, everybody, you're hearing about how much money they're making. So the whole point is, are you protecting what you're actually making? So I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's just say, because you have a 401k, so we'll just play with our 401k. So let's say you have $1,000 in your 401k, right? And the market crashes 50%, because it can, and it will. So now you're only left with $500, right? So now they say the market's going to recover. Don't worry. Just close your eyes and click your heels 3 times. Well, okay, let's say the market does increase 50% and recovers. But 50% of 500 is only 250. So you're only up to 750 when you originally started with $1,000. So how often, let me ask this question. How often do you log into your 401k to check the balances of it?
Not that often. I look at a lot of, let's see, most of it's, I'm checking Fidelity more because I'm doing more investing in the Fidelity account. So I'm changing stocks and selling and buying. But okay. The 401k is kind of like my backup savings plan. I don't mess with it, just let it grow, and hopefully it'll continue to make something.
Hopefully. So I'll share, once I learned about all of this, I was obsessed. I have a TSP with the VA. So I was obsessed, and I was literally logging in every day I went to work. I was logging in and checking the balance of it. And in a 2-week period, I lost $1,200. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm young. I understand $1,200 may not be a lot of money to some, but it's a loss. Like, I am putting money in this account to grow for retirement. But if I'm losing money like this in a 2-week period, only because I was paying attention to it, there's where it goes, that unlimited loss. But there's, what is it going to lead you? What is it going to leave you with when you do come to that retirement age? Because, when 2008, when all of those people were trying to retire and the market crashed, imagine losing almost half of your retirement that you thought you were going to have right when you're at the doors to retire.
I know. Or when you cash it out, getting taxed to death.
You still got we're going to talk about taxes here. That's the third rule of money. So that's variable. But index is where you're capturing all of the growth of the market, but instead of taking a loss when that market goes down, as you can see, these padlocks, they lock you in place. That way you don't suffer those same losses that you would have had in the variable market. So let's change this now to where we're going to move our money now to an index account, right? Because we know better, so we do better. So let's say we have our $1,000 in that index account and the market crashes 50%. Well, you still have your $1,000 because you're protected from the loss of the market. But now when the market recovers, and let's just say it recovers 50%, now 50% of 1,000 is 500. So you're up to 1,500 where you used to only be sitting with 750. So there's more stability and protection when you do have your money in the right account.
But is it capped using an index account? Like, is it capped with the amount of capped? Are you capped with the amount of money you make?
So some carriers will limit the growth of 15%. You can capture 50. There's a cap to say you can't make no more than 15% on your money, but you're also that company has a floor to where even when the market is down, you're still going to get a 0.75% interest on your money, even when the market is down. So you're still winning, even though the markets may be down. There's other carriers that have unlimited growth. So there's one of our carriers last year, they had 40% growth in those accounts. So it just depends on where the money is and where we feel like it's going to be best going to work out for you in your personal situation. So that's protection. Then we're going to talk about taxes. So the third rule of money is how money gets taxed. So these are your tax now accounts, like your savings accounts, your bank CDs, brokerage accounts, and mutual funds. So with these accounts, you put your money, okay, you get your W-2 or your paycheck. You've already been taxed on that money, right? You take that same money and you put it in these accounts where there is a chance where you're going to get taxed again on the growth or the distribution of your money in those accounts. So you have the chance of getting hit multiple times with taxes on those tax now accounts. And let's not even mention the fact you have to pay sales tax when you even spend your money. So you've already, been taxed on when you made the money. You're going to be taxed when you spend the money. And then there's a chance where you can get taxed on the growth or when you take that money out. So tax now accounts, it works, but not always when you're trying to get to a better destination. Then we have our tax later accounts. So these are your 401ks, your 403bs, your IRAs, annuities, and pension plans. So with these accounts, you're allowing the government to hold on to your hard-earned money, thinking that they're putting you in a better tax bracket. That's what they make us think, that we're getting put in a better tax bracket. We're not paying taxes on our money now. But like you said, when you go to retire and you hit that 59 and a half age, you're going to get taxed on that money. So the question is, I don't know, how old are you, Mr. Billy?
40.
44. So you have like 15 years before you're going to be hitting 59 and a half, 60 years old, right? So can you tell me today what the tax brackets are going to be for your income when you hit 59, 60 years old?
No.
Do you have a magic ball to predict? So that's the part where you're going to be at the mercy of the government and whatever they choose to do for taxes, because we do know taxes have been high in history. There's been taxes where, imagine 70% of your income is going to the government for taxes. That was back in 1981. People that made over $100,000 a year had to pay 70% federal taxes on their money. So the government is in trillions of dollars of debt, and that debt keeps climbing. I don't know how the gas and the lights are still on at the government, but there's all this debt. How do you think they're going to pay this debt off?
Taxing us.
Exactly.
That's the only way they can create revenue.
Exactly. So right now, you may be between 20 and 30% tax bracket, but you're allowing yourself to be at the mercy of the government on whatever they want to have those taxes at when you are ready to retire. So you can have $100,000 in your 401k when you retire. That's just a number I threw out there. But imagine 50% of it being gone to just taxes, not even considering the loss throughout the next 14, 15 years that you're going to experience because you're not paying attention to it. So that's how those tax layer accounts work. Then you have tax advantage. So these are like your municipal bonds, your Roth IRAs, executive bonus plans, and then the cash accumulation and insurance. So with these accounts, you go ahead and pay your taxes on the front end. But now when your money grows or the distributions of those funds, you don't have to worry about paying taxes again. All right. And I do like to go a little bit further because people like the Roth IRA because they think, oh, I've already been taxed, so that's the money that I have. Well, those Roth accounts, for one, the government limits how much you can put in those accounts. It's like $6,000 a year. And it's in the variable market. So you could suffer a loss on that small chunk of money that you're even being able to put in. Right. So there's ways that we can help you get the distribution, the proper protection, and the accumulation of your money. And there's accounts that will show you about that. You have any questions?
So you recommend not using Roth IRA accounts?
I mean, it depends
versus
on which.
A 401k account? I mean, it's actually just general.
So 401ks, they also limit you how much you can make. But the 401ks are variable, just like Roth IRAs are variable. So you can suffer those losses. So for me personally, when I learned about this information, I dropped my 401k or my thrift savings. I dropped it down to 1%. Total honesty. I was putting 6% of my income in at first until I learned about this. And once I learned about this, I dropped my my thrift savings down to 1% because they give me 1% for just contributing. Plus they give me a match of dollar for dollar for my first 3%. So I just said, okay, I'm going to put 1% in this account and y'all are going to give me 2%. Just so I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, but I ain't putting most of my eggs in that basket. So the money, the difference in the money that I was putting in, the extra 5%, I now put it in my indexed account. And with the indexed account, I'm able to actually see what the growth is going to be in that account. Whereas I can't do that with the 401k. I like certainty. You know what I mean? Like I'm working all these years to be able to retire. My goal is not to work for the rest of my life. So being able to put my money in a place where it's going to be better protected than that variable, unpredictable market. Because that's what variable is. It's unpredictable, unreliable. You just don't know what it's going to do. So I would rather put my eggs in a basket that I can at least see where I'm going to be at. Right. And I'll show you that too. So this is the financial needs analysis and the services we offer to people. So we go through each one of these and then you can just jot down the number when it hits you like, oh, I need to learn more about that. So the first is increasing cash flow. So you did say that you're interested in learning how you can earn additional income. But the second thing is just managing expenses. A lot of people think they don't have money to pay their future self. But when you look at what they're spending their money on, Amazon Prime and eating out are the two big things that rob people of being able to eat in their future. All right. So we just kind of bring light to that and let people know, like, you really have to start planning for your future now while time is on your side. Then the second is college planning. So college planning, we all know about the 529 plans. That's what we primarily hear about. But what if our kids don't want to go to college, right? Kids these days, they're finding non-traditional routes of being able to make income. So if you have a 529 thinking that your child is going to go to college, and times have changed to where they don't go to college, well, now you're going to get penalized and taxed on that money that you thought you were doing the right thing planning for college. But kids, they have other financial milestones that they come across in their lifetime. What about putting a down payment on their first house? We can help them put that down payment on their first house because we have money in accounts that can be used for whatever we want them to be used for. So you can help them put a down payment on their first house. That way they're not stuck with, the PMI or having to pay a higher interest rate because they don't have that cash. Or what about when they want to buy their first car? Why don't we let them take a loan from themselves instead of taking a loan from the bank? So there's ways that we have money to where your kids can be their own family. They can start their family bank. Then number 3 is the emergency fund. So before COVID, we were stressing that people had 3 to 6 months of income saved. But after COVID, we're stressing that people have 6 to 12 months of income saved just to prepare for those unexpected expenses or the next unexpected pandemic or the next variant that's going to come out. So we don't know what's coming. The number 4 is proper protection. So I know you said you have life insurance. But the key with life insurance is that you want to make sure that there's enough life insurance in place in order to protect those family assets when that time does come. You want to make sure that the lifestyle can still be maintained by that income that was provided when the unfortunate happens. So we do look at making sure that there's enough life insurance in place. The number 5 is building wealth. So the key to building wealth is that you have to outpace inflation. Inflation last year ended at 7%. So if your money's not growing at least the rate of inflation, you're pretty much losing money, because $100 today is not going to be worth $100 in the future. So you want to make sure that you're not actually losing money. Then preserving wealth. So there's ways that you can actually protect your money from taxation, court proceedings, lawsuits, child support, divorce. There's ways that you can actually preserve the wealth that you've actually made. So out of all of these, what numbers would you want us to take a look at for you?
Looking at either 5, 4, or 6.
You can have all of the above. There's no limits. Because
Okay.
some of the things that we do for people, they're blended. Like you may be working on a college plan, and that can also help build in wealth as well. So there's ways. I wrote all of those down, so we can definitely make sure that we look into those things for you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
All
I
right.
would rather, let's see, instead of a college plan, like you mentioned, and they probably want to do the build wealth portion, right? Because if they don't go to college, or if they needed money for like a business or a startup or something, I'd rather have access to that business versus getting double taxed for college and they don't even go to college, right?
Exactly. So imagine, like, when you take a loan from the bank, let's say your child needed to buy a car, and you took a loan from the bank, what's the interest that they're going to usually charge for you?
Like 3 to 5% or something?
Yeah, and it could be higher than that, depending on how good the credit is. So imagine paying 3 to 5% interest on borrowing money from the banks, but they're only giving you a fraction of a percent for you having your money in the bank. They're using your money to loan to people at a higher interest rate.
Yeah,
So
that's how they're making their money.
yes, but you can change that narrative to where now you borrow from yourself and you pay yourself back. So